The G1 Climax 29 has finally concluded. We have made it through the most competitive and most insane pro wrestling tournament of the year, once again hosted by New Japan Pro Wrestling, and have a winner. 91 matches and a month later. What a contest. Hello, everybody. I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster, and welcome to the final simple take on the G1 Climax. With me, of course, is my friend in independent wrestling. He's a family man. He's the holiday. He has huge knowledge on cruiserweights and respects them too. Hashtag too, for that matters. It's my good friend here, Chris Mace. Chris, how are you, sir, and your family, and what did you think of this tournament?
I say family's doing good, and the tournament, oh Lord, like I said, you missed a lot when you were in Toronto, I tell you that, but we're going to get into that here in a little bit, because now you played catch-up. We can finally talk about all this stuff. We've had to keep it from you all weekend long until you got back and watched everything.
Yeah, and I binged it all one day, including the finale. 4 days of block action. The last 2 days of block action were both A block and B block, and the finale. And I mean, we could have talked about each one of those nights, but I think at this point, everyone knows what happened. We could probably even talk and see if one of those were like some of our favorite matches to remember. I will say this, I found it surprising. Bad Luck Fale actually got a couple of wins on wrestling moves. What?
Yeah, I know.
And Toru Yano making a burrito out of freaking Taiji and Kanemaru was pretty damn funny. That dude, I can't believe he was this close to winning the block. And then the man of his word. How the hell did he do it? Jay White took the B block when he was down at the bottom, and Jon Moxley took most of the B block from the beginning, only for Jon Moxley to lose the rest of his match, including his redemption match with Juice Robinson, where Juice, under all circumstances, remained cool, not tranquilo, but cool, and did not give in to Moxley shenanigans. He wrestled a pure match and won his redemption. You gotta imagine that puts him in line for our IWGP US title match. So, real quick thoughts. What was your thoughts on the B block winner, Jay White?
He was interesting. After they got done with day 16, it came down to 4 of them. That's what I found interesting about the B block. The A block, you had pretty much, it was 2 men, whoever wins is going to be the block A winner. Where this one, you had so many different scenarios. That's what's interesting. I was trying to figure out every one of these scenarios. You had 4 of them. You had Moxley, you had Naito, you had Goto, and you had Jay White. That all, with different scenarios playing out, easily could have been the Block B champion. Moxley had to win and hope to God that Jay White lost and Goto lost. But I'm glad Goto won. That's who I picked to upset Jon Moxley, was Goto, and he actually did beat Jon Moxley, so I was kind of happy with that one. Not Yano, but Goto, which who I picked, thank God. But like I said, it was a lot of interesting scenarios. You know, if Naito had won his match, he would have needed Moxley to lose. He had the tiebreaker with Goto, so there's a lot of interesting. I think what was more interesting was with Goto was had he won, Moxley had lost, Jay White would have lost. Jay White and Naito would have had to actually tie for him to get in, because Naito had the tiebreaker with him already. So the only way he could have got in was if Naito and Jay White tied.
And
so I thought it was all.
Jay White pulled off the win against Naito. I did not. Yep. I really thought that was going to be the breaking point for Jay White. I can only imagine what that's going to do to Naito's psyche, but he still is IWGP Intercontinental Champion. But now that we talk about the G1 more, so we're going to talk about how Jay White could go after a certain title. And yeah, Hiroki Goto, what an impressive showing in the G1 as well. And that match with Shingo Takagi, Battle of 2 Dragons, that was impressive. Tomohiro Ishii was definitely a sleeper for me in the B block. He impressed me the most. In my opinion, he had 2 of my favorite matches of the entire G1. But I think my overall favorite match from the B block, it had to have been Jon Moxley versus Tomohiro Ishii, because that was one hell of a fight. What was your favorite match, real quick, or couple, from the B block, before we talk about A block?
Moxley versus Naito and Moxley versus Jay White, because I told you in previous videos how I was rooting for Moxley, and when he fought Jay White, I slowly started cheering for Jay White, and it slowly started building. That match, I think they told a great story with that match and how they built it, where people, if they were rooting for John Moxley like I was, they would have had to start rooting for Jay White. And when he hit that Blade Runner and ended up beating him, I mean, I thought that was one of my favorite matches in the B block, to be perfectly honest. That and the Yano shenanigans through the whole tournament. The Yano shenanigans kept me entertained. That was, you're doing his personation now. That's what kept me entertained, was with Yano in Block B. Just the shenanigans he did, and he ended up getting some wins because of it. So you can't complain about it one bit.
No, and he did actually show us some wrestling in his longest match against Tomohiro Ishii, who again seems to bring out the best of everybody. That's why to me, Tomohiro Ishii was my favorite in the B block, and my favorite matches were Tomohiro Ishii versus John Moxley, and probably Tomohiro Ishii versus Shingo Takagi, because I'm pretty sure both men were trying to rip each other's necks off. But I mean, Tomohiro Ishii, John Moxley, Shingo Takagi, Goto were all very impressive, and a couple of them, it was literally their debuts. But yeah, Jay White took the B block. So before we talk more about that, let's go ahead and talk about the A block. Because like you said, come these last nights, it literally came down to pretty much 3 and just 2 men. In the end, it came down to just 2. Kota Ibushi and the reigning IWGP heavyweight champion, Kazuchika Okada, breaking all the records, holding down the block. If he would have won that match, it wouldn't have mattered last night. That was it. He would have took the whole thing. But somehow, some way, the Golden Star prevailed and took the A block in the end. Starting with a very rocky start, but he told you, do not give up on me. Keep following me. Have faith in me. I'm doing this for you. And he prevailed. He took the A block in what was probably one of my top 2 favorite matches against Kazuchika Okada. Other takeaways from the A block I have to imagine was what the turning point for me of the A block was Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kazuchika Okada. Not only did this really decide who was going to go on, who had a bad chance of winning, I think it truly decided the future of New Japan Pro Wrestling. You and I have talked previously how I think Hiroshi Tanahashi, his pride will never stop him from wrestling, but even he has to be aware his body cannot go forever, and he wants New Japan Pro Wrestling to follow the type of wrestling he does. He sees all of that in Kota Ibushi. In my opinion, that match was a passing of the torch, which apparently spoke volumes because Kota took the A block. So with that being said, what was your thoughts on Kota Ibushi taking the A block?
I was happy about it, actually. Like I said, because Okada, I didn't feel like, I mean, much has been an interesting story to have Okada win and then win the whole G1 and be able to pick who challenges him for the title. He didn't need it, and I said this from day one when I started doing this and looking at this. I didn't think Okada needed to win G1 here. He had a great showing. He had a lot better of a showing than I thought he was going to, because I figured they were going to have some opponents for him during the G1 that would get some wins over him to build up some opponents for him later down until we got to Wrestle Kingdom. But then I just realized that, looking at something else, I was looking at Sonata already had a title match with him already.
At Duntopic.
So, yeah, and then so Sonata was able to pin him. Does that give Sonata another shot at the title? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see because we already know what's coming up here soon. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit. What's going to go on next?
Yeah, and let's go ahead and talk about our thoughts on the A block participants. A couple of matches that really impressed us, probably were our favorites, and maybe a couple of participants that impressed us the most. In my opinion, besides Hiroshi Tanahashi with Kota Ibushi that told a story, even though it didn't go as long as last year's G1 final, I have to say 2 of my top matches in this block was definitely Will Ospreay versus Okada, just because the fact that Okada brought Ospreay into New Japan Pro Wrestling in Chaos. But I think my favorite match in this entire block had to be the redemption match for a man. I thought it was going to go much farther in this block, but didn't. Sonata versus Okada. Not only was it the closest to a draw, it was Sonata's redemption. And like you said, God put him in line towards the title. In my opinion, this G1 proved how much Sonata could be a top-tier single star in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Sonata impressed me thoroughly. Will Ospreay had a very strong debut. I thought he was going to go all the way, possibly become the big winner of the A block, but it didn't happen. Kota Ibushi continuing to try and make history here. But I have to say, that was just a couple of my takeaways from the A block, which was, I wouldn't say so much more dynamic as I focused more on the legends and the primaries and the people you know well from New Japan Pro Wrestling, but still had some great single matches that delivered and some one-on-one encounters. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Will Ospreay was another huge takeaway from me, too. So before we get into the final night or setup and the finals overall, what was your thoughts on the A block overall? Who impressed you the most, and what was like a couple of your favorite matches?
I was disappointed with how Osprey performed, though. I was thought like I said, me and you both picked him to actually win the A block and actually win the whole thing. That didn't
Correct.
happen, but he had some losses. But like I said, even that with his loss to Zack Sabre Jr., that was still a freaking phenomenal match they had. That was one of those matches that was just phenomenal. And like I said, I think the biggest one I wanted to see the most in Block A was Okada versus Kenta. I wanted to see, do we have the old Kenta back? Did he come back? Is he back? Is he done from being from the land far away, as I'm calling it, when he's back in New Japan now? I mean, is he back for good? Is he back with a passion? Like I said, that match, like I said, they had a damn good match. That was one match I picked to go to a draw. It didn't go to a draw, but like I said, that was a damn impressive match, too. It showed Kenta. We already all know how good Okada is. And people, like I said, may forget how good Kenta was in New Japan and All Japan.
Yeah.
Like I said, they may forget about how good he was before he left. So, like I said, that showed me there that he was back. He had some wins, but even in defeat, he looked strong, and even in defeat. And that's the important thing to look. You can still look good in defeat and still come out strong after the match. And that's what he did there.
Yeah, and keep in mind, they showed respect mutually at the end of that match, too. Kenta's had like a mixed appraisal from the audience, which led to events later, and who knows how long this was planned, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But I thought Kenta had a very good showing in his debut as well, all the way from the opening night when Kota and Kenta was just a battle of kicks. And again, the interesting thing about this G1, not a single match went to a draw. We had a couple that came with 30 seconds of going to a draw, but no draws happened. A very unique G1. Some would say it's not the best as some previous G1s, maybe just because of the participants, maybe just because of the outlook. But overall, this G1 still impressed me thoroughly. Many incredible firsts. I'm sure Dave Meltzer is going to give a number of these matches close to 5 stars, and one probably above it. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and get into the...
And we also had one thing, too, you got to think about, too. We had no draws during the whole all 90 matches. We had one disqualification, and we had one count-out. No, we might have two. We had two countouts. We had two countouts. I'm sorry, I went brain dead. Yeah, we had two countouts. But even still, looking from stuff past and stuff, they had a lot more disqualifications and countouts from ones I was looking at from the past too. So, like I said, they pretty much will say easily, if I'm making sure I'm right, there's a lot of matches to remember, but 87 matches didn't have decisive winners.
That is very much true. I mean, a number of matches came down to literally pinfall or submission. And Zack Sabre Jr., the way he won that second to last match against, I forget who it was, but literally just kicking the brains out of the guy with 2 or 3 submissions tied up on him. The thing Zack Sabre Jr. can do with his body to another human's body is downright cruel and should not be possible by any human on the face of this earth. Anyway, that ends all of our blocks, and we had our final set up between Jay White and Kota Ibushi. But Jay White, you never can trust the guy, as Rocky Romero puts it, the most hated man in New Japan. He said, one-on-one, me and you, no Gato. What happens? He attacks him right before the night of finals and tries to permanently injure him by attacking the ankle, which played into our finale, which we'll get to shortly. But I want to look at the finale as a whole because, boy, did a lot happen in these matches to set up for the future ahead, long and short. Where do we begin? Oh, I know. Let's begin with one of my personal favorites and a sleeper that I thought should have been in the G1, but finally stated his case, and we know what's coming up, and I can't wait for this match. How about Minoru Suzuki saying, "You can't hide from me. Give me your title"? He challenged Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at New Japan, NJPW, I'm going to just do short-term annotations, NJPW Royal Quest. We are finally getting that championship match. Like I said, no matter what, the G1 gives you an idea, but it is not set in stone that will be your main event at Wrestle Kingdom. So now we have the king of New Japan Pro Wrestling versus the Rainmaker. And keep in mind, the Osaka curse continues because no IWGP Heavyweight Champion has won the G1 since the year 2000. Okada being part of that still. Came close, but didn't happen. And now he's got to deal with the King, Minoru Suzuki. I had to imagine that this was the direction where Minoru Suzuki was going as soon as this thing was over. And he declared it on the final night. So I know we're going to talk about more when we do predictions. Stay tuned for that on NoDQ.com, folks, the week up. But what was your brief thoughts on this declaration from Minoru Suzuki and this match coming up?
It was interesting because, like I said, he wants to prove something. He wants to get that title from Okada. He feels like he was ripped off. He wasn't involved in the G1 climax. He feels like he was ripped off and didn't get his opportunity. So he's damn sure going to make sure he gets an opportunity at Okada and take that title from him. And he could possibly do it. Like I said, you said it before, Wrestle Kingdom, that match is not set in stone for Wrestle Kingdom because either the champion could lose or the G1 winner itself could lose their opportunity in any match.
Yes, and speaking of which, before we get into our G1 winner, let me just give you all some ideas about what we can expect. This is two men have gone before in a match up to 40 minutes and 46 seconds. So I'm just saying, Minoru Suzuki could be Okada's kryptonite. So, Okada, you got one rough challenge ahead of you at the Copper Box. But that wasn't the only championship match declared that night, was it, Chris? Yeah, we got 4 matches declared for New Japan Pro Wrestling World Quest. 4 championship matches. So, not only, because you know Suzuki-gun, that's my faction, Kasa ni Nare, Ishiban. We also got the undisputed British heavyweight championship declared in a match that has so much history between these two men. We are getting Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. for the undisputed British heavyweight championship. In my opinion, if Hiroshi Tanahashi doesn't win this, I gotta think he's done. He's not going to Wrestle Kingdom's main event. I'm sure he's going to be involved in Wrestle Kingdom next year. But you've got to imagine how many more times can these men face each other. And Zack Sabre Jr. has gotten the better of him at this point. This is the rubber match to end all things. And he has held this title since freaking the beginning of this year. So I'm looking very much forward to that. What are your thoughts on this match coming up?
It's going to be interesting because I'm a big fan of Sabre Jr. I thought he would have done better in the G1 too. There's certain people I expected to do halfway decently in the G1. He just kept losing for a while. He got some big wins towards the end. Tanahashi, though, you can't bet on him. He's so hard to bet on him. Even if Sabre Jr.'s beaten him before, it's so hard to bet on him. But if he loses again to Zack Sabre Jr., where do you go with him from here? I mean, he's getting older. He's been doing this for a while now. When is that point? Do you hang up the boots? Do you end up putting the guy over? So you end up putting Zack Sabre Jr. over one more time and walking into the sunset. Is this going to be the highlight and the ending? You had a great G1, a great showing in the G1. You performed with an excellent level. But is this your time to go ahead and pass the torch, or is it your time to walk away into the sunlight?
It's hard to say at this point. And then, of course, we got the Super J Cup coming up, too. Hosted by Juice and Thunder. Like, stay tuned, folks. We'll have a brief video on that discussing basically our top 4 and potential winner and our thoughts on this event overall. So we respect the high flyers, the junior heavyweights, and cruiserweights. Hashtag 2 if life matters. No barriers or limits found. All right. Anyway, moving on from there, we also got an idea of some tag matches. Again, we're not going to really get into detail about New Japan Pro Wrestling World Quest. We'll get into that during our prediction video. Stay tuned for that on NoDQ.com. But we also learned of a very shocking announcement and declaration made during the 6th match of the night here between Kenta Yoshihashi, Tomohiro Ishii versus Bullet Club. GLD back from Ring of Honor Summer Supercard that I saw live. And their partner, Bad Luck Fale, who had a really odd showing, I must say. But anyway, this match could have gone either way, in my opinion. But it wasn't the match, it was the story, because who knows how long it's been in the works. Although, it was told on Twitter by Tama Tonga, the good bad guy. Stay tuned for a new member of Bullet Club. Well, did not see that coming. But honestly, it fits the mold based on the mixed reactions. He's showing this idea of respect for everybody, and then basically now he's a bastard. Kenta is now part of Bullet Club. Was this in the works from the beginning? Was this in the works all along? And now they're saying Bullet Club is going to put Kenta to the top level because they see something in this guy. But this
Mm-hmm.
also brought back Shibata that came out as a ball of hellfire, attacking what really was his best friend, Kenta, with just all the classic moves. And we haven't seen this man do any in-ring action for like 2.5 years due to like injuries and stuff. We thought he was like done. So this got a major pop from the crowd, and then of course Gato can move the kendo stick. But then add in something interesting, Kenta literally posing on top of Shibata and declared himself with the too sweet. He is Bullet Club. But Shibata, I have a funny feeling Shibata versus Kenta is not that far down the road. But we also learned the declaration of Tomohiro Ishii, the never openweight champ, will face Kenta at NJPW Royal Quest for the never openweight title. Another first, as neither of these men faced each other during the G1 as they were in separate blocks. So, Chris, what was your thoughts on the surprise of Kenta being Bullet Club?
I was surprised about this. Now, I'm about to say, I know about Kenta. I remember for sure he wrestled more with All Japan than he did with New Japan before he left. That's correct. So
Right.
I knew there were some tensions there. It's probably why the crowd reaction wasn't always there for him at times, and there was a tension there. So, yeah, it was good storytelling there. That gives him a good reason why he turned. He needed to be belong something, and Bullet Club would help build him up. I completely understand why they did it. What I got more excited about was seeing Shibata, who had been out for 2.5 years, had an injury that could have easily killed him, that brain aneurysm, I think, or bleeding inside the brain. He had an awful injury because his last match was with Okada in 2017.
Correct.
So he has not wrestled since then, and for him to come back and do that stuff he did, is that signs telling me that Shibata's coming back? And if so, are we going to get Shibata and Kenta? Because I damn sure hope so, because Shibata is part of the reason Kenta came back in the first place in New Japan and helped out with that. So, in my point of view, this would be a match I'd want to see. And I'm sorry, Kenta, I said, much as I like you and everything like that, Shibata going to whoop your ass if he comes back and gets in a match with you.
I mean, you heard the post interview if you watch YouTube. Don't forget to keep me down next time, you bastard. Shibata is coming after Kenta. Simple as that. This gets made for Wrestle Kingdom. Oh my gosh. I feel like there are so many events in the world right now for Wrestle Kingdom. But let's talk about the definitive event as of right now, this recording, that we do have a Wrestle Kingdom because of what we saw in the G1 final. That went literally over the distance. It went over 30 minutes long. What an interesting start, though, where Jay White came out with Bullet Club in full force, including the newest member, Kenta, only for Red Shoes to make this match literally one-on-one, attempting to, like, nope, not going to let that happen. I'm not listening to you. I can only imagine the controversy now from all my Bullet Club supporters and Switchblade Breavers, including my friend Courtney, go follow her podcast, Breaver the Switchblade, had on this moment where Red Shoes said, nope, Bullet Club, gotta go, but then Gato negotiate. Okay, look, they can go. Let me stay in this corner. I'll stay right here. I won't get involved. Okay, I won't get involved. But what happens, he gets involved, gets caught in the cookie jar, and we get a one-on-one match. And this was everything I expected it to be from Jay White. Massive boos, letting the match play out into his favor, on his time, trying to lure Kota into false security, and working, of course, on the ankle. Which, of course, he did during this match to a point that the ref got knocked out. Gato came back down. All hell broke loose. We had shenanigans. We had chair shots. We had the ref at one point. I could have sworn Kota was going to tap out. But in the end, Kota reached into that dark residue in his mind, listening to the people, was driven by the fans. He did not tap. He was this close to tapping. He freaking made it. Kicks and strikes. The freaking Boombaye and a Kamagoye that JY kicked out of, only to be followed by a second Kamagoye. Gato taken out and made sure to be left out of the ring by courtesy of Rocco Romero. And 31 minutes, 1 second later, our G1 Climax 29 winner is Kota Ibushi for the first time ever. And not only that, he made history, because not only that he won the G1, he has also won the New Japan Cup and Best Super Juniors. He is Triple Crown. He's done it! He's won New Japan Pro Wrestling's top 3 tournaments of the year in the history of the promotion. I could not be happier for this man. He was my second going into this after Will Ospreay when I first put out my bracket a month ago that I truly felt like I wanted to see in the end. But honest to God, you can't take anything away from Jay White. The man came with a strategy, and it
Yep.
almost paid off. He was a man with words to this point on everything he said. Everything he said became reality, and became this close to winning. But Kota is the winner.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Chris, your thoughts on this match and Kota Ibushi winning the G1?
I was kind of hoping Jay White won at this point because of the way he stored his proclamation. He had to come back and win it all. He was going to win it all. He had to come back, and that was the story.
You believed in him.
I mean, he started getting invested when he actually ended up getting into winning the bleed block. You were actually getting into it, and you were getting built up. Oh, my gosh, he's going to pull it. We said in previous video, is he going to do this? No. We kept winning, kept coming.
He kept put
himself in a perfect situation there because he beat Moxley, so he had that win. Put himself in that situation, beat Naito. Moxley lost, beat Naito, I'm in. What he did. So now he's in here, and like I said, he had an incredible match, over 31 minutes and 1 second. This was an incredible match, top to bottom, but like I said, as great as he was, we got our winner. And like I said, I wasn't either way. I wanted White to win at this point because I got invested in it, and that was what great storytelling with what they did with Jay White. Right. But when Bushi, I was calling the wrong name now. I've been doing so good with the Japanese name, and I'm about to go butcher it now. The last minute. Kota Ibushi. But like I said, he won the match, and so that's what I said. So now it's supposed to be, as of right now, we got it slated. It's him and whoever the IWGP champion is. It could be Okada, but we'll have to wait and see. But then, will he hold on to the G1, the right to challenge him? We have to wait and see, too. We still got a long time to go till January, Wrestle Kingdom, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and what a declaration by him, too, saying this is like a new era in New Japan Wrestling. Going back to what I said, Hiroshi Tanahashi possibly passing the torch onto Kota Ibushi. We know how much Hiroshi Tanahashi, Shinsuke Nakamura are two of Kota Ibushi's biggest influences. Mm-hmm. Now, not only that, but it looks like Naito may have been a big influence too, because Ibushi, not only did he sign this contract now that makes it official, he came in with a proposal. He came in with the idea of not only would the IWGP Heavyweight Championship be potentially in his future, but also what Naito said, the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. Mm-hmm. He proposed the idea of the G1 winner maybe going out of Wrestle Kingdom with all the gold. Yeah. So I was like, what? So literally, I'm going to butcher this probably too. Shigebayashi, they signed the contract that Kota Ibushi earned as G1 Climax winner, guaranteeing him an IWGP Heavyweight Championship match on January 4th, 2019, the main event of the Tokyo Dome. Ibushi delivered a statement, but Ibushi said this, and I quote, "Thank you, New Japan Pro Wrestling World, NJPW1972.com. Of course, I accept and will use this contract, but I have one proposal. We have events at the Tokyo Dome on January 4th and 5th. First time ever. I still can't wait to see how they pull this off. But I still have an attachment to the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, which he does. How about if I win the Heavyweight Championship on January 4th and then challenge for the Continental Championship on January 5th, whoever it may be? I will, of course, defend this right to challenge against Kenta and Evil, who beat me during the G1. That's it. That's my suggestion." And apparently, it was brought to fruition. And then he answered several questions to the press for this day. And he basically is talking about, he feels like he's living up a little bit to expectations, but not all the way. This is where it's going to take time, and he won't give up. But imagine, during his road, he has to face the likes of Kenta or Evil that could dethrone him.
Yes.
And then we have Okada that's dealing with right now Minoru Suzuki. You have to imagine Jay White's going to be in the fold, going after Naito now for the IWGP Intercontinental title. There are so many changes and variables right now that can happen here between now and Wrestle Kingdom. I can't wait to see him on the road to destruction in Kobe.
And you got the X Factor, too, because you don't know what you're doing with Moxley with the U.S. title yet. And you got Jay White, who beat Moxley in this tournament.
That is true, but you also got Juice Robinson. Remember, Juice Robinson was the former champ. You've got to imagine he's got the strongest connection out of that title, and he's going to go after it first, especially since he won his redemption match against Jon Moxley in the G1. But you're right. Jon Moxley is still IWGP US champion as we head towards AEW All Out and AEW in October. there are a ton of things that could happen right now between New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Quest and October. But the bottom line is that Kota Ibushi declaring a statement, trying to make even more history, will come to fruition. Only time will tell. Well, that concludes the G1. So, Chris, I believe you had all the statistics from our G1 TeamIndyDQ contest. Who took the whole thing?
Well, the winner of our G1 Climax Predictions Championship for 2019 is good brother Chris. He finished in fourth place. First place. Boy, I know who finished in fourth place. It wasn't me, though. But finished in first place. He did a great job with it. For me and him, and I finished right behind him in second place. Whether it's 4-point or 5-point difference, we'll have to figure that out.
Right,
me and Noah had to.
Wrong.
Well, it's either one match wrong, but it doesn't matter. Like I said, he won. It was an incredible showing. Noah came in third place. Cindy G came back and got in fourth place. And Big Cass, who was last year's winner, if I'm right. Was he last year's winner? Yeah, he went in fifth place here. But very competitive. Like I said, the interesting things about this, Noah say, one day will change everything. I had to leave from day 1 to day 11. Good brother Chris came in. I messed up when 05, day 12. Good brother Chris came in, never looked back. I tried to make the comeback. I got 9 out of 10 right. Day 16, day 17, day 18. All those scenarios played out. He won. But here's the thing. None of us predicted the winner of Block A, Block B, or the eventual winner. None of us predicted that, right? I will say that.
Everybody got those wrong because everybody thought Jon Moxley, Tetsuya Naito, Will Ospreay, Sonata. None of those things happened, but boy, did all 20 men brought it in this G1. And the final scores for the G1 are as follows. Kazuchika Okada, 14. Zack Sabre Jr. 8. Hiroshi Tanahashi with 8. Evil with 8. Sonata with 8. Bad Luck Fale with 8, which really surprised me. Lance Archer, last place in the block. Tough break with 6. Hell of a showing, though. Will Ospreay with 8. Kenta with 8. And our block winner and overall G1 Climax winner, Kota Ibushi with 14. And the B block was Tetsuya Naito with 10, Tomohiro Ishii with 8, Juice Robinson with 8, Toru Yano with 8, Hiroki Goto with 10, hell of a revitalization, Jeff Cobb with 12, Jeff Cobb with 8, Shingo Takagi with 8, Taiji with 8, Jon Moxley with 10, and the B block winner was Jay White with 12. But again, the person that took it all in the end was Kota Ibushi. And that concludes the G1 Climax for the year 2019. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, following us on this journey. We hope you enjoyed it. Please go back through and check out the entire playlist of all of our simple takes, predictions, recaps, and thoughts on the G1 Climax 29. Thank you to everybody who participated in this year's predictions contest. This was the first. It certainly won't be the last. Chris, This was your first, and it was an extreme pleasure participating in this with you, reviewing this with you, and recapping this with you. I think we're done here for the night, so is there anything you want to plug, and where can people find you?
I'd say just one last thing I want to say. Anybody who ever watches the G1, anybody in the near future, when you watch it next year, to me, this was a tale of two different stories. Block A had one set of stories. Block B had a completely different set of stories. That's what made it interesting. It wasn't the same thing going on. It wasn't they were all doing the same thing. That's what made it very interesting, entertaining to me. You had different things on Block A going on. Block B, where you had the end a day 17, it came down to 2 men. Day 18 came down to 4 men. You did not. It is so hard to predict the G1. 90 matches, and like I said, I think we all did an incredible job with our predictions, how many we got right, because my goal was 50%. I got more than 50%. That was intense. I can't wait to do it next year, because that's going to be another 90 matches to predict next year. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, and don't worry, I'll do like a little how-to fill-out bracket video, too, because I feel getting a couple of y'all are confused. But mad respect to you, to brother Chris, Cindy, Chris Cass, for all participating in this and filling out your brackets before day 1 even started.
Yeah.
Woo! All right.
So,
my plug.
So, like I said, just Sport After Match Wrestling. Steph and Jerry do a great job on Once NXT, and coming up on the Tea Party, I'm a man of my word. I lost the bet to Jerry. We had the general. We had the bet going on that whoever won or lost, whoever lost between me and him in the predictions, we're gonna do the Carlton dance. Well, Jerry went perfect. I didn't go perfect, so obviously stay tuned for that. You're going to see me do the Carlton. That's going to be fun. I've already sent them videos of it, so you'll be seeing it here shortly. And then, like I said, support Colin Andrews. He does great work with the chopping block. So it's simple, easily short reviews, simple as that. Then you have James and Owen, just support them stuff. Owen's getting ready to do his 2000 episode. I know you did a little tribute thing for it. I did one as well. A few other people have done it, so stay tuned for that. I know he's excited about his 2000 episode. Like I said, just support AEW Nation. Like I said, good brother Chris, they've got over 12,000 members. They're going strong, and to keep growing. Support Armbar, capital ARMBAR, exclamation point. Like I said, they got 80 members. Be active in there. You're not going to be there. And then, like I said, support the Facebook channel he founded, 205 Live Matters. Right now, we got some issues, so him and Cindy going to have to run that right now. I got some issues I got to take care of. My social media, God, I love social media. I swear after today, but it's going to wave back. Hi, Facebook. We're going to talk later. Anyway, so so I'll digress on this one. But anyway, so just support everybody. And last but not least, support NoDQ.com. Like I said, they're the reason that people like Noah and everybody does this, and we give opportunities like me and other people, good brother Chris and everybody else, to get opportunity to do this stuff. So support them, and I'm glad my buddy got back safe from Toronto and had a blast at Toronto, and I'm so envious of him meeting Drew Gulak, though. I am envious of that, but it's all right.
It was awesome. He's an awesome dude. And Satino's doing so much more. And who knows, I might do like a recap of my trip, or at least the Ring of Honor show too. But thank you as always, Chris. A pleasure and an honor being your friend and doing these with you every week. And folks, if you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. If you want to follow me and talk anything wrestling, just look me up on Twitter, nodq.com/Noah. Takes you to my Twitter page. Or follow my simple YouTube channel here at youtube.com/user/NoahFoster210, where you'll find all sorts of recaps, reviews, predictions, takes, extras on all things wrestling, WWE and beyond, New Japan Pro Wrestling, AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, Independent Wrestling, Sport Independent Wrestling, folks, and more. Coming up soon, we'll have a simple look at the Super J Cup, 2019, hosted by Juice Thunder Liger. As well as in Cold Up and ODQ, we will have predictions and takes on what I'm calling my last day of the Summer of Wrestling, August 31st, NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff, New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Quest, and AEW All Out. And I will be live reacting, streaming to them right here on YouTube that entire day. So feel free to drop on by, react with me. Again, it's just reaction. I don't pirate. Send me your questions, wrestling and non-wrestling. Love to chat with you. Love to communicate with you. Love to hear from you. Follow the heart of my channel here too, #205 Live Matters, where we review all things Cruiserweight Wrestling, then now forever, and the 205 Live brand. And join the community, #205 Live Matters on Facebook. And as my friend here alluded to, support No DQ. I just get back seeing those cool dudes. They're the reason I'm in YouTube. And Queens as well. Shout out to the ladies in No DQ. So go buy a shirt, nodq.com/shirts. Ton of designs. I got a shirt. There's hats, tapestries, mugs, and so much more, goodies, etc. Perfect for the fall season coming up. Follow NoDQ on social media platforms. Your opinions matter, so do your comments. At the official website, comment section on everything. Polls, columns, memes, gifts, reviews, sexy female pics. You name it, it's there. It's wrestling, primarily WWE. But we're invading with AEW. And of course, just follow my good friend Aaron Riff. Follow everybody in the NoDQ family. Make a friend, make an enemy, attempt to troll virtue if you dare. And as always, as I like to close, support your wrestling outlets, both big and small, and let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, one-of-a-kind wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that, I am finally back from Toronto. The G1 Climax has concluded. There is no more wrestling really for this week. I had a blast seeing Ring of Honor Summer Supercard, NXT TakeOver Toronto 2, NW SummerSlam and NoDQ, and following the G1 with all of you. Thank you so much for joining us in this journey. Like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Give us your final thoughts of the G1 Climax. Stay tuned for everyone's grasp of the official bracket at the end. And until the next video, which will likely be 205 Live Matters or Super J Cup 2019 bracketology / free predictions. Enjoy life. Enjoy wrestling. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Be elite. Too sweet. And you all have a good night. Pequeño, sayonara. Good evening.
Have a good night, y'all.
Chris, thank you again. Good brother Chris, congratulations. See y'all around.
See y'all around.